So when we talk about this full life cycle, it's not just about the automation and the manual testing. It really has to start capturing the information that the managers need and the information that the developers need. And a lot of tools, they don't do this well for both of them. So our organizational chart, so think of it from like a university standpoint. You have the dean of the university, and they're at the highest level. They're at the box here that would be yellow. And what that's saying is that overall the university is at a medium level of criticalness. But as you go down, you go to the schools. So you could have the engineering school, you have the social sciences schools, and then under that, for instance, for the engineering, you would have the aerospace engineering, or you have the electrical engineering, and you would see these different levels of schools and how critical they are. And what this does is at a quick glance, it allows those managers to see what's going on across their entire organization. And it becomes really, really important when when their time is valuable and they don't really have time to sit here and go through all these dashboards, but they need that quick oversight, that quick overview of seeing what the accessibility is like through their organization. But let's say the managers want to see a little bit more. We also have a dashboard that will identify the accessibility barriers, the hyperlinked health report, the accessibility barriers over time, and the comparative analysis. And what it gives them a little more in-depth knowledge of what's going on, right? So we know what dead hyperlinks are, the 401, 404, 405 errors, the things that drive us crazy. We click on a link, it takes us somewhere, it's not where we wanted to go. But all this information, it allows those managers to still grasp what they need to understand throughout their organization and start identifying the goals. It allows them to see like where they might be failing in policies, what needs to be changed, and these types of things. And it becomes really valuable. The more information that we can give the managers quicker, the more they know the direction that they need to take their organization, and the more accountability they know they need to deliver at a lower level. As we start talking about the policies that an organization has and how that could potentially steer the accessibility all the way down to the developers, Dr. Gunderson actually wrote a very nice paper about this particular issue. And what he talks about is the presence of features. So for instance, H1 headings. If you're going through a website and everything seems to have a H1 heading, then there might be something in the policy that's driving the developers to do this, right? If everything is within landmarks, maybe there's something in the policy saying that this needs to be there and it's part of the quality assurance checks. But if these things aren't happening, if these things that these automated tools can actually identify fairly easy aren't happening, then maybe these managers can start adding ideas and bullets to their policies that actually allow the developers to implement these things appropriately throughout their code and throughout the HTML, and they can start accomplishing accessibility at a higher level. And that's all this chart is doing. It's showing how often something appears on the page. So earlier we touched on what a dead hyperlink was in the overall dashboard, but this is the drill down of that. So you'd be able to see all of your organization. In this case, we're showing a university. So you have your African American Studies, anthropology, economics, so on and so on. You'd see your total hyperlinks, but then you'd see your dead hyperlinks and how many are there. You click on one of those numbers and it would actually show you what those dead hyperlinks were. So if they're within your domain, and they're internal to your organization, you can go to those pages, you can look at them, you can make sure that they're up and running. If not, you can fix that. Maybe it's something that's taking you outside of the website and you know that you just have to delete that link altogether. And it's just something for the developers to be able to identify and quickly make things more accessible to everyone using it. And with accessibility, in this case, it becomes a lot more usable for people also. So I should probably mention, as we're going through these slides, if you all see something that you think we should add or change, like we want that feedback. So please, in the Q&A, leave your comments and let us know what's going on. But as we move forward, here's another slide. So the Department of Justice has said that they understand like this isn't going to happen overnight. The meeting accessibility, it's especially with all of the backlog of everything, it's going to take time. But what they want to see is improvement over time. So it's really important that we provide that evidence that shows like your company cares. You're trying to achieve these certain goals. So this is what this visualization does here. So you can identify certain guidelines that you want to focus on, and then you can watch their improvement over time. And maybe you don't improve, maybe you get worse. But if you get worse, maybe you can go back and you can look, is there a new hire that we have that needs a certain training to get them up to par with everyone else? This is what these types of graphs would be able to do for you. And once again, it's color coordinated to make it at a quick glance. You don't have to look at all the numbers, but it's still, we have all of the numbers there to ensure that there's multiple ways of seeing it, interpreting it, to ensure that our stuff remains 508 compliant.
And now we'd like to tell you a little bit more about our products and services to help you in your life cycle. First, we'd like to start with the underlying product to it all, Revelo software. It's FedRAMP NIST compliant. It's also Section 508 conforming. Revelo is flexible in terms of being able to work with other APIs from other products. It helps us with our robotics processing, our artificial intelligence and machine learning aspects, and also contributes to our augmented analytics to deliver those fantastic reports. In addition to that, we also offer through Revelo the ability to configure your workflows for manual testing. You can also configure your website monitoring and analysis, and incorporate your crawlers, bots, and spiders. And most importantly, you can use multiple accessibility testing tools using Revelo. To make your purchases easier, we've also added a layer where you can use automated quotes in order to get pricing to determine how much it would cost to make your website accessible in terms of testing. And I think one of the most important aspects is user-friendly reporting, whether for your developers or managers. Received customized reporting, triggers, and alerts. And there are other applications run by Revelo. We've done real-time surveys across the world, GPS-enabled surveys. We've collected data across 50 countries in all 50 states, healthcare learning model data, and accessibility scanning at the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. And one of our more recent product launches is e508.com. There you can upload documents, get real-time quotes, dynamic pricing on your document remediation needs.